We are live and it is 6 o'clock, so let's call the meeting to order. Yeah, we moved it. We just moved it. We all did. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Right. Call of the roll. Fouraker. Present. Jill Edler.
Present.
And Schaffer.
Present.
Brad Campbell.
Present.
And Brad Fordyce.
Present.
All present and accounted for. On to number 4, approval of the agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Fouraker.
Aye.
Edler.
Aye.
Schaffer.
Aye.
Campbell.
Aye.
Fordyce.
Aye.
On to number 5, citizen hearing and other communications. We'll start with Lieutenant, Polk County Sheriff.
Hello.
And I left it dark back there intentionally to encourage you guys to come forward, participate in the meeting. So,
Just for October 28th, calls for service up here, so just nothing that really jumped out or anything this time, so kind of slow month.
Don't say that. You like that?
yes. Council, any questions, comments, anything for Lieutenant?
Were we able to get that speed data from the setup? I think it was like
I haven't seen it
October.
yet, I'm waiting on sorry to get back. Yeah,
That's fine. Just a reminder to
Yep.
look into that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Appreciate it.
Nothing else from council or city staff? We're good to go. Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Move on to Mr. Scott Drey, our fire chief.
Just like every month, we're the underachievers. We only had 18 calls of service, 9 medical, 5 fire, and 4 rescue. We participated in a couple trunk or treats. Let me try that again. Trunk or treats.
There you go.
Around the community, and then trick or treat when it was here, or beggars night, whatever they call it, for the city. I mentioned last month that I was trying to move towards ice rescue equipment. Worked with a sales guy from Dingus Fire Equipment. I think we got at least a cursory start on equipment. So I got a couple ice rescue suits and some like this for the people that would be on the shore, and a couple of throw bags. I started out very cursory, just to see where we get started. Everything I got should swap over to water rescue as well as ice rescue. I don't have the final bill yet, but it's under what I said it was going to be. So we are moving forward with that. I didn't want to dilly-dally. I want to get that stuff in here just before the weather got cold, and God forbid that there should be any issues. So we were thankful for the rain. Field fires and some fires like that were getting a little bit out of hand. Vehicle fires, things of that nature.
So no semis lighting on fire, their brakes and grease and everything catching on fire.
Spontaneously combusting. It happens. And just, I think I forgot to share last month, when you hear about things like a burn ban in the county. So those burn bans are requested and put forward by the Fire Chiefs Association, Polk County Fire Chiefs. And generally, as much as I either am proud or embarrassed, I generally am the weenie that moves all of them forward and makes the request for a burn ban. You can imagine, across Polk County, there are not a lot of fire chiefs that have rural area that they have to deal with. So generally what happens is folks like, I think Des Moines and West Des Moines, Waukee, in those response areas, they already have rules in their city that you can't have fires anyway. So it doesn't really, they have a permanent burn ban, if you will. So sort of a very small number of us along the peripheral areas of the county, they don't get out into the rural areas. So it's not really they have no dog in the fight. What happens is I make a request to the Polk County Fire Chiefs Association that I want to have the association poll. We then run it to AJ Mung with emergency management. He sends it out to the entire group. We all vote on it. If it passes, then we send it to the state fire marshal. And the state fire marshal then is the one that puts the burn ban in place. So I didn't share that before, but when those burn bans come into effect, that's generally where they come from. Does it stop anything? I don't know. Prior to the burn ban, we responded to 2 or 3 controlled burns that got out of control. So I feel like it can help. It's a step in the right direction, at least to try to help us out. And then the same thing happens after we feel like in our guts that we've had enough moisture or conditions have changed enough that we then want to rescind it. So then the same thing happened after we had a little bit of rain. Harvest got along. Some of the fields were tilled. At least the crop was out of the field. Because that generally is my biggest concern is the standing crop. I can handle fires down in stubble pretty easy, and there's not a lot of economic impact to anybody. It's in standing corn and you get a 30-mile-an-hour wind, things can get really aggressive really fast. So that's the background with burn bans. That's generally where they come from.
That's good information.
A weenie like me.
Well, not that part of the information.
Questions, comments?
Good. Awesome.
I won't get made fun of if I go.
No. Busy guy, you got stuff to do. So
All right, thank you.
thank you very much,
Appreciate
sir.
the update, Scott. Thank you.
Right. Letter C, public comments, items not on the agenda.
For those of you listening at home, my name is AJ Vasky, live on Monroe. It's not on this month's agenda. I had some technical difficulties on my end with emails, but it will be on next month's agenda. I won't be able to attend because I won't be able to get off work. I'm requesting a tax abatement because after when we moved into Elkhart, we heard about tax abatements. When we bought our house, we're like, yep, you don't have one for that, for your property. But after talking with a realtor last couple months ago, they remember selling some other homes in the area. And they said there was an abatement available. They said reach out to the city and see what the next steps were. So I reached out to Katie, got the abatement form, got it filled out. Accidentally sent it to myself rather than responding to Katie's email when I called her today. I'm like, yeah, I got it right here. Sent from Andrew Vasky at Gmail to AJ Vasky at Amazon. So somehow got it sent to the work email. But it is sent to Katie, just to get it to her in time for tonight's agenda. But yeah, just trying to see. That was one of the things that attracted us to here. But when we bought our house, I don't remember who told us there was no abatement to apply for. But heard that there potentially was for that area. So obviously just trying to explore all opportunities and all paths to see if it was something that was planned for back in 20. I know I'm a little bit out of the two-year thing. But I wasn't, if it is there, I'd like to see if I can get it. If not, no big deal, no foul. But so that'll be on next month's agenda. And my email is on there. So if you guys have any questions for next month or anything like that, reach out to me or stop by on the Rohrer.
Will the emails come to you or will they come to us?
Yes. Just do reply all and one of me will get it.
So, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Any other comments? Once, going twice. Move forward. On to number 6, reports of elected officials, city staff, and standing or sitting committees. Rob, start with you.
Well,
It's the mic joke. I'm always going to do it.
Polk County Emergency Management has a lunch and learn coming up next week. I won't be there, but if anybody wanted to go, that's available. I think they'll be talking about holiday scams, making awareness of those. Also wanted to discuss something that's later on the agenda, the mutual aid agreement with the county. That's something that's been in place for several years, and it's just kind of an update to it. No major changes. We get called out to help other departments. Other departments get called in to help Elkhart. So it's pretty common.
Did you hear any, or do you have any additional knowledge on that? Was it the exercise they had over at Altoona by Adventureland? Do you know anything more about that? I know it was publicized as like, hey, this is happening, but I know it wasn't like a big production.
Yeah, it was more of a publicized as in case you do see anything, otherwise stay away.
Yeah. I didn't know if you
Yeah.
if you knew anything more about that or not, or.
No, I mean, they were doing a mass shooting training
Okay.
response, I believe.
Okay. Very good. Jill, and excuse me while you give yours, I'm gonna grab my notebook.
Sure. Parks and Rec met last week. They had a really great meeting. The pickleball courts here in town have been painted. The lines for pickleball has been painted, and there was discussion on possibly purchasing a new net, one that's adjustable. They're still discussing that. They had a great meeting with Mr. Owens with the Memorial Ballpark fields about working together, possibly taking over the maintenance and stuff on those facilities, and what the future could look like with the city involved. You know, there's lots of grants that we could apply for to help fix up that field. So that was really great. They're still in discussions on if we're moving forward with that or not. They discussed the story walk. I think they will need a grant to do that. It's like $6,000.
The total cost is around $6,000.
Yeah, so we're looking at in different avenues to possibly make that happen. And the last thing was one of the members resigned or will be resigning at the end of the month for not seeking out a new term for the council. So there will be a spot available this month.
I'm gonna try to get it so that they can apply before the next parks meeting, which is on December 3rd.
So it will be coming up pretty quick. Yes, and that's it.
And would we do that appointment then at the December meeting?
Yes, the council with an appointment on December 16th.
Okay. And you, whenever you're ready, just catching up here. Sorry.
Didn't want to rush you.
I'm one of those. I cannot write and talk at the same time. Otherwise, I will write or vice versa. So.
You're good. Cemetery committee has not met yet, but does have a meeting coming up. So before the December council meeting, we will have met again. Only change we've had is Chip and I worked with Marissa to just change or add some things to the locate form. It was super easy. It was just some extra information that the committee thought was important to have on there. So went ahead and did that, and yeah, have a meeting coming up. So if anybody's interested, you can come hang out with us.
When is that? Do you have
That is Thursday night at
This coming Thursday?
6, 7. 7. Okay.
And is this coming Thursday? Okay. Good. Yes, I do. I might try to actually attend one. This is all probably not enough tractors. Okay. Campbell, move to you.
3 applicants for the part-time public works job. I think Ron's gonna look into those 3, and then I've been doing a lot of social media stuff, I guess, for the city, taking pictures and videos of our new stuff. I'm waiting for all the trucks to get out of the way from the water plant so I can do some stuff for that. And I just got done with one for the Prairie Pointe Park, so.
If you haven't had a chance to
Yeah.
watch, it's excellent. There's a pretty cool, he made a cool video, so we'll need to post that shortly.
Yeah, I saw the preview that you had sent to me that one day, and then that was, I haven't looked at if there's a new one or a different one.
No, that's the one that I've got, but then she has a bunch of the still shots and stuff from different perspectives.
Okay.
So just trying to kind of get what Elkhart has and stuff out there. So.
I'd love to work with you on that, and maybe in the springtime too, once stuff starts to green back up and
Oh yeah.
recapture and update and everything. That'd be awesome. So, Mr. Fordyce.
Yeah. So, I know redundancies, there's a lot of stuff in Katie's report that she's gonna go over that had a hand in, so I'll just let her go through her own report, but just things I'll add, I guess, a little bit to Jill's comments on the Parks meeting. I attended as well, because I just had the initial conversation with Tom, and one of the agenda items tonight is the contract to get the lighting replaced by cruisers. We could talk about it when it gets there. But we had a organization come out and begin to take some measurements and leveling and things like that. And there's actually been a quote produced of just kind of the ballpark, get it, of what it would cost to begin some of that overhauling as well, and to give Katie and Deb the ideas of, from a budgeting standpoint. But it's up to Parks now; it's in their hands, and if they want to move forward with it, we can have more discussions about it. the strategic, well, we met on November 2nd for 8-ish, 9-ish hours. Katie put a nice little recap in here as well. We can, again, I'll let her go through all that, but very productive meeting from a city standpoint. Obviously, comprehensive plans that are 6.5, 7 years old will be updated. CIPs will be established. Obviously, we know the community is asking for more of a lot of different things, but code enforcement being one of them. We'll see an increased educational push here in the next couple months as we begin to work towards, educate through, what is it? Enforce through education, right, Brad? And begin to raise awareness. And one of the things that we were asked last time when we worked through code enforcement was, well, if somebody would have just came and talked to me first, or somebody would have called us first, or somebody, that's what this education push is going to be for the next 6 or 7 months, right? Is to get the word out that, hey, you may not know, but this is a city code, this is an ordinance. I might not have made that city code or ordinance, but I'm informing you that you are breaking said ordinance or code, and it needs to be correct. You get the point. But we'll be doing that over the next several months, so keep an eye out for that kind of stuff. Don't take offense to it. Just understand it's all part of the education. The water tower was cleaned again. Katie's got that on here, which is great. Ongoing conversations with that organization, however, about contractual obligations, going through some invoicing, looking at what we were charged for versus what we got, doing kind of an internal audit of that situation. I think he had proposed a meeting on Wednesday. I'll be out of town, but feel free to meet with them, and I'll let you cover that. Last but not least, a lot of the conversations we had at the November 2nd meeting, at some point would always run into the railroad, how hard it would be to work with them, all that kind of stuff. So I started down that road. I think I got a solid contact or two, and it seems like the ease of working with them has been misstated a bit. Perhaps it comes down to more of doing what you say and then saying what you're going to do and being very specific. Because if you're going to require closings and things of that nature, and then you say you're going to be 3 days or 2 days or 6 hours of closure, and then you say, well, actually now we had an issue, now it's 12 hours, that's when it becomes an issue. And we don't have any poor history in that area. It doesn't sound like to overcome, but the second piece of that is getting to the right person, which I think we're on track. Ballpark on track. I'm nailing them tonight. I'm not even actually trying. It's effortless, but we're getting there. But yeah, that's kind of it for now. But I think we're in a good spot with a lot of that stuff. And as we decide what's next, and as far as new sewer pipes and sanitary pipes, things of that nature, I think those will be important. So I'll let you cover the rest of what you want to cover. If you need any chiming in, let me know.
Well, the Deanster and Kim won't be here tonight, so I'll touch a little bit on our projects.
Okay.
So our water treatment plant is still on schedule with construction. They finished installing the acrylic flooring and to cover the electrical and chemical rooms, interior wall paint and caulking of the control joint openings. That work is continuing. The gas and electric heaters are all installed. And then the installation of bulk chemical tanks and exterior venting of tanks are complete. Brad touched on the water tower cleaning, working on that. With the park, after our walkthrough, we did a final walkthrough with Jordan Kappos, Deanster and Kim, and we just found one minor crack in the sidewalk that concrete connection is going to fix. And he did relay back that he'd be fixing it this week. So that was the only really item we found. And then we identified a few trees that are going to be replanted by Erosion Works. And I believe they said they wanted to wait until the spring to do that. So that's kind of the latest on Prairie Pointe. With the lift station, we will have a pay app on the next agenda for just the fence itself. And then Ron and Rick and Tom, they did complete all the training for the equipment. They're having some issues with like the dialer and just kind of narrowing out some of there's a little bit of tweaks that they have to finish out with the equipment. Permeable pavers, we've got to get those cleaned. I've been in touch with a company that they provided me a quote of $3,000 to complete the cleaning. I'm looking to get that done this year still. It's really not common to have that equipment for cities, so it's kind of a rare. I was only able to find one bid, But I'm hoping to have that on the agenda next month to complete that.
And the reason why is when those were installed, they were supposed to be installed with a maintenance schedule. And a budgeting process was supposed to be done to budget for the cleaning. I think, is it every 2 years? I know
Oh, yeah.
they have a recommendation at a minimum every 2 years. I know there's been comments in the past, Ron, and with all the sand and stuff that's building up in the DNR, it's not just something we should do because it makes them look nicer. It's something we are required to do to keep the drainage appropriate for the way that we built them. So just as an FYI, when those types of things pop up, they'll be on future budgets, in my opinion, at least every other year, than they'd recommend it, but that'll be some more future proofing versus trying to play catch up still. It's one of those catch up items we found again.
Yeah. And then as Jill was saying, you know, we'll be appointing somebody to the Parks Board in December, hopefully December. We'll have applicants. The Elkhart maintenance bond, we're at a standstill point where the attorney representing us has sent a follow-up letter, and we're just waiting for the response from the contractors for some action. Not sure what's going to happen, but we did kind of say we'd work with them a little bit based on who's at fault. So I'll let you know once I hear back from them on that, on the contractors. We got our lead service line inventory report all submitted. That was a state requirement due in October of this year. Taking an inventory of all of our water lines. So Ron and Tom and Marissa worked on that. They did a great job getting that all submitted. We don't have any lead, which is great. Deb has been very busy with her reporting requirements this month. It's a very, very busy time for the finances with all the annual reporting requirements. So she's done great with that.
Are you finding everything you need to get those submitted on time? Do you need any extra resources from us or? Thank you.
Your approval.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Sorry.
Yes, no, she did great, and she had sent them over for me to review, and I didn't find any major issues. So I really appreciate all your work.
That's great.
The last thing I want to touch on is the town cloud service. This is an service that I used for a trial run this past month for the agenda and packet. It is a very time-saving platform that I'm hoping we can implement for the long run. If you haven't noticed, like the new format to click on your packet and look through your packet, it's very efficient for both users, the person creating the packet and the person reading the packet. So,
And it's not 166 pages.
right, you don't have to scroll through it all. So I will be asking for approval to continue with that service. After the free trial, it's $50 per month, but even just this month alone, it has already been very efficient to use. So.
I already told her she can take it out of my monthly meeting pay. It's awesome.
Great.
It's much more
Yeah.
much more user friendly on our end as far as scrolling through and bringing up documents, et cetera, et cetera. I haven't gone to the website version, but I think it's exactly the same as what we got emailed, if I'm not mistaken. Okay.
Yeah.
Again, I hadn't gone that route to get it, so but no, I love it personally. So.
Yes, it was very nice. I had to make a couple changes and just sit through. It took me no time at all. So good.
Awesome.
So Katie pretty much touched what I've been busy with this month. It's just the annual financial report, the street finance report, and the annual version renewal report. They're all in the packet, along with some transfers that we're recommending.
Great. Thank you. Mike.
We had no meeting this month because there was nothing to be handled. There is one seat that expires the end of the year. And I think the person that has that seat is willing to serve again unless he decides to retire because he's really old.
9.
I'll see who wants to.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just keep that in mind.
We're not gonna let you do that.
Because that'll have to be on the agenda next month as well, too.
Something with that, Mr. Kappos. have you looked at possibly getting somebody up to speed kind of to where you're at? Just seeing the P&Z is kind of a single point of failure with the knowledge that you do have.
Well, I mean, there's a couple of people on there who could, who could serve to chair. That
Yeah.
wouldn't be an issue.
Okay.
Of course, I can't impart everything I've learned
No.
over my years in the city, but, as far as what we do and what, is involved, they would be up to speed.
Maybe they wouldn't know what it is, but where to look
Yeah.
to find. Yeah. Okay.
And a big piece of that too, Brad, is the reliability of the city staff at this point as well.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
the redundancy to that and a lot of the stuff that he's able to find and the recodification as well, getting the codes updated and online and even things it would appear as trivial as just a meeting agenda with clickable links and hot links and stuff like that is kind of a redundancy for that as well, I hope. So, but yeah, we plan to download his brain whenever he lets us. Yeah, 100%. Whatever that thing is called, brain link. We'll get him. Don't worry.
Just a couple things from me I wanted to let everybody go through first. My apologies for not being here the last couple months, but harvest and harvest related duties, and that's primary this time of year with my normal job. So everything went well on that front with us. Everybody was safe. We were the ones that had to come out for the truck fire. That's the why I poke fun at Scott. That's another story for another time. Everybody was okay with that. But no, been in constant contact with either Katie or Fordyce has given me some updates on some things that have been going on. So I've been in the loop while I haven't been here. I've been in the loop and been in the know and up to speed on what's going on, and of course emails and stuff like that. So Angie, thank you for leading the charge the last couple months. You did a wonderful job, and because I've watched the meetings back. Well, because I had to post them, so of course I watched them back. But thank you very much for that. And no, it's great to have the band back together, so to speak. So other than that, to touch on something that Fordyce had mentioned, I have to differentiate that way. As far as like codes and ordinances and leading through example and not leading through example, but what's the phrase that you use? Training by education or information
Enforcement through
education. There we go. One of the big issues I know we've had recently is ATVs or dirt bikes or whatever riding through town, riding on private properties, et cetera, et cetera. I'll be the first to openly say, as far as if they're riding around responsibly in town, I personally don't have an issue with it, but that does not supersede the code and the ordinance that we have in place. There's several that come up, they're wearing full helmets, they stop at stop signs, they're out for a Sunday cruise around town. And personally, as an owner of a UTV, that's awesome, but it doesn't supersede the ordinance that we do have on the books. So I've stopped a couple that they ride by my house. I stopped a gentleman yesterday, had a nice conversation with him, just gave him a heads up that, hey, this is on the books. I can't do anything. I don't have law enforcement powers and whatnot, but just giving him a heads up, and he was very appreciative of that. Something that he was not aware of. So that's a perfect example of if we see these things happening, if we can either approach folks or, hey, just educate. We're not disciplined, education, just to, hey, this is what's going on, and just let them know so we can maybe start to correct some of these things that are going on with the ATVs or trailers that are parked where they shouldn't be parked, or you name it, what's going on. We've all driven around town and seen it. So we're not trying to be a homeowners association by any means, but at the same time, we've got things that we need to have kept a certain way that have been not maintained for several years. So we're looking to get that back on track and back in check. So any questions for me or anything like that? Or
I do have a question. Did you want to see like changes made to that ordinance? Because I know we've talked about it before.
Coming from me personally, I'm not speaking for anyone else, I would love to. I need to reread the draft that you had. I'd love to see it opened up to, we permit the ATVs in town, but then that opens up the potential of they start going crazy and whatnot. So it's a fine line to it. I come at it, I'm biased because I own a UTV, different from an ATV. I know everybody's got a different opinion on that, but that's just me. I know, so there are some other communities that do have that or do allow that. We'd have to look and see what their ordinance are if they had it. If it's feasible, I'd love to see it, but if it's not, then we keep it on the books, but maybe we refine the definitions of, hey, XYZ can't do this, etc. So
Okay. Yep, thank you.
Broad answer there, but I hope it kind of answers what you're looking for. That's all I've got. So, moving on to number 7, the consent agenda.
Motion to approve the consent agenda?
Second.
Fouraker.
Aye.
Edler.
Aye.
Schaffer.
Aye.
Campbell.
Aye.
Fordyce. On to number 8, resolution 2024-91, a resolution approving Elkhart's participation in a 28E, the letter E, agreement for mutual assistance for Polk County Fire and Rescue Services.
Motion to approve resolution 2024-91, resolution approving Elkhart's participation in a 28E agreement for mutual assistance for Polk County Fire Rescue.
Can you give us a little bit more information on this? Am I putting you on the spot?
Well, I mean, basically, what that is if, say Elkhart responds to a call, needs more manpower, large grass fire, they'll call into dispatch, say, we need mutual assistance. They'll call out another department based off of this list and send that out. There's, I believe it's up to 12 hours that they can be on scene without billing those departments. And I mean, it works both ways. Elkhart gets called out as well.
Okay. That's the nuts and bolts of it. So. Just for more context for folks here and hope who might be listening and whatnot. So, Council, did you have any questions or anything?
I seconded it. You already motioned.
Yep, works for me. Fouraker.
Aye.
Edler.
Aye.
Schaffer.
Aye.
Campbell.
Aye.
Fordyce.
Aye.
On to number 9, resolution 2024-92, a resolution to set fire chief salary for fiscal year 2025.
So this was set for $6,000 for annual salary. This is what was prepared in your guys' budget for this year.
Yeah, just a little background on that. The historicals were that it's risen pretty rapidly over the last 5 or 6 years, but also Scott's responsibilities, the town has doubled in the last 10, 12 years. So we were not, I believe, giving enough, I guess, focus on what he's doing and what the department does and the participation and all that, and paying him commensurate to that. So we had kind of done it on a gradual increase, but we want to do also gradual, not meaning small increase, but graduals in time, like over the course of a couple of years. So last year, I think it went from 4 to 5. This year, it's going from 5 to 6. And this was the last year of those increases that we had discussed. Okay. So if the new council feels differently or wants to change it, or wants to discuss it or do something different, that's up to you guys to decide. But I'm comfortable with the work that was put into it and the assessments that were done of the neighboring communities and fire chiefs, and looking at the amount of time that Scott puts in that, we know about or don't know about, and all the things that go behind the scene. I have absolutely no issue with this being approved, and I'll motion whenever it's ready. Anybody has any other questions?
It was pretty comparable to everybody else.
Yeah.
I think so.
Sounds good to me. If you guys are good.
Motion to approve resolution 2024-92.
Second.
I'm going to give it to Campbell. Fouraker.
Aye.
Edler.
Aye.
Schaffer.
Aye.
Campbell.
Aye.
Fordyce.
Aye.
On to number 10, resolution 2024-93, a resolution to enter into an agreement with Rohrer, I hope I said that correctly, Rohrer Residential Painting to paint city facilities utilizing the American Rescue Plan Act, or ARPA, funds.
This is one of our projects. We intend to use that leftover federal money for improving city facilities. So we received 2 bids for painting. the interior of the community center, and then we received a bid for painting the exterior of City Hall and the fire station. Correct. That's the fire station, yeah. And yeah, I think it'll be a great improvement to make short term, and I think the total amount was $7,900 for both. So he does plan to paint the walls in here and the cabinets and the kitchenette.
Did you decide what colors?
No, we have not decided on a color yet.
Community vote.
So the window trim is the same color as the cabinets, so they're gonna,
I believe window trim was included on that too, because he included doors too.
Walls, doors, windows,
Yeah.
trim, and cabinets.
cool. Yeah, I think it'll be a great, upgrade to this place, and we can get more rentals out of it.
Spruce it up a bit.
Yep.
And as she mentioned, this was done through the ARPA funds, which are part of the COVID relief, so there's no true cost to the city. This money also had to be allocated by the end of the year.
Yep.
So these will allow us to enter into those contracts. I did talk to Scott about painting the building, fire station white. He had no issues with it, just FYI.
You did say specify white.
City Hall, yeah. We can vote on it or not vote on it, but
Are you worried it'll get too dirty, or you'll have to power wash it every year?
I mean this with all due respect to, we'll have almost 3 full-time maintenance staff at that point if they want to power wash it.
That's fine.
It
I
also
should know.
rains really, really hard. Yeah. No, the exterior paint that they were going to use is similar. It's the same stuff. He's the businesses that this guy's done. We're not worried about that, especially with the sheet metal of the building. It's very washable. So,
Any questions, comments?
it doesn't have to be white. It can be pink for all I care. I'm joking, but
It could be white. I just don't want it
repainted
to look
to
like
be
granite,
veto.
because there's mud all the way around the bottom.
Yeah, there
You know
shouldn't
what I mean?
be.
So I just want to make sure
No.
there's a maintenance plan to
Yep.
keep that up.
Motion to approve resolution 2024-93. Resolution and agreement for residential painting, city facilities using the ARPA funds.
Second.
There you go. Fouraker.
Aye.
Edler.
Aye.
Schaffer.
Aye.
Campbell.
Aye.
And Fordyce. On to number 11, resolution 2024-94. Resolution to enter into an agreement with Cruiser Electric to install LED lighting upgrades in city facilities utilizing American Rescue Plan Act or ARPA funds.
This is another project for improvements to use the remaining money. Brad assisted with this project a lot. With our available credits that we can use, it brought the cost down to $11,487. The ball fields, the lights are included in that quote. There'll be LED lighting in this facility, and then City Hall and the fire station.
And Cruiser was willing to work with Scott as well and work through to put automatic lighting in, because when they go into the station in their emergent situations, I think he said there's 8 separate light switches or junctions or something like this. This will add a lot of automation to that
Same time.
as well, and try to bring that and add additional lighting as well, because there's some pretty poorly lit areas. So, yeah, again, another benefit without true cost to the city.
Got any other questions, comments? Take it away.
Motion to approve resolution 2024-94, the installed LED lighting upgrades to facilities using the ARPA funds.
Second.
Fouraker.
Aye.
Edler.
Aye.
Schaffer.
Aye.
Campbell.
Aye.
Fordyce.
Aye.
Alrighty. Let's see here, number 12. Ordinance number 2024-11, an ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances of the City of Elkhart, Iowa by adding provisions to Chapter 69, Parking Regulations, Section 69.12, Snow Emergency. This will be the second reading of that.
Any questions?
This basically changes I'm super duper paraphrasing, and correct me if I'm mistaken, but it basically changes the current regulation to once the snow starts to fall and hit the ground, vehicles off the streets until 48 hours after snow has ceased to fall.
Correct, and it specifies 1 inch is when the snow emergency is declared.
Okay, so once we hit that 1 inch mark, okay. Just a little more clarity and defining the ordinance versus the kind of broader that was prior, so. Council questions, comments?
It also establishes that October 1 through May 31 is the time frame.
Okay. So this will be the second reading, so.
You want a motion and a second to approve on the second reading?
Yep. I motion to approve ordinance number 2024-11, an ordinance amending the code of ordinances of the city of Elkhart, Iowa by adding provisions to the chapter 69 parking regulations, section 69.12 snow emergency.
Second.
Fouraker.
Aye.
Edler.
Aye.
Schaffer.
Aye.
Campbell.
Aye.
Fordyce.
Aye.
Do we feel we need a third reading? Or do you guys wanna,
My snow before then.
I don't think we need a third reading. Myself.
please don't swear, sir.
If we wait to have a third reading, will it hold the snow off until after that happens?
No, 'cause I got my snow blower ready last week.
Okay, no, that's.
You know that?
That's worth a shot.
Hey, you guys wanna waive it?
You can waive it, yep.
So it'd be a motion.
Somebody
waive
make
the
a
first
motion to
reading,
waive the third
and then-
reading.
and then-
We're getting there.
Motion and second and roll call to waive, and then
All right, so I motion to waive the third reading of ordinance 2024-11.
Second. Fouraker.
Aye.
Edler.
Aye.
Schaffer.
Aye.
Campbell.
Aye.
Fordyce. And now the last part.
A motion to adopt ordinance 2024-11.
Second.
Caught up, everybody good?
Yep.
Fouraker.
Aye.
Edler.
Aye.
Schaefer.
Aye.
Campbell.
Aye.
Fordyce. And so it shall be. Yeah, well, you know, you'll have that.
We'll be ready.
we'll be getting this posted out quite a bit, just in fire.
Awesome.
That's the biggest thing is vegetation on it.
Yes. And not that there was ever really a big issue before. I'd say, without taking an actual number, 98.5% of folks in town awesome about it. Before, some issues here and there, yes, but minimal that I ever heard of prior. So that's awesome. We appreciate it. Ron and Rick appreciate it. So on to number 13, resolution 2024-95, a resolution approving the annual financial report for fiscal year 2024.
So this report is in your packet and it will be published in the newspaper. Submitted by me if you guys approve it. So,
I reviewed it and I thought it looked really good. She did a great job. And we had our financial advisor review it just in case too, so we should be all set.
Kelsey, did you have any questions or comments?
No.
I assume we all went through it as well. I didn't see any issues with that to me or if I had any questions on, so.
A motion to approve resolution 2024-95, a resolution approving the annual fiscal.
Second.
Fouraker.
Aye.
Edler.
Aye.
Schaefer.
Aye.
Campbell.
Aye.
Fordyce. Number 14, resolution 2024-96, a resolution approving the street finance report for fiscal year 2024.
once again, it's a report I've prepared. Katie reviewed it and I will submit it to the state as soon as you guys.
Waiting on purpose.
Cooperation with the railroad.
Yes. Very good. Good enough. Council questions, comments for Deb on this one?
It's nice being caught up.
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
It feels really good.
Yes.
I'll say that.
Yes.
I motion to approve 2024-96 resolution approving street finance report for FY24.
Second.
Okay. Fouraker.
Aye.
Edler.
Aye.
Schaffer.
Aye.
Campbell.
Aye.
Fordyce.
Aye.
15, resolution 2024-97, a resolution approving the annual urban renewal report for fiscal year 2024.
This one, once again, I prepared it. I think I worked with PFM a little bit on this one, and it will be submitted after you. And Katie worked on it too.
Yeah. It's not the easiest format or reporting format to follow, so I really appreciate her taking the time to, she did a thorough job with every reporting requirement, so.
Council, nothing further. You know what to do.
Motion to approve resolution 2024-97, approving the annual urban renewal report for fiscal year 2024.
Second.
Fordyce.
Aye.
Campbell.
Aye.
Schaffer.
Aye.
Edler.
I
Fouraker.
Aye.
didn't like that way.
I'll go back to the sorry. All right, on to number 16, resolution 2024-98, a resolution directing the filing of tax increment financing certification under Iowa Code Section 403.19 for the 2024 end of year certification of urban renewal projects.
Did I catch a niner in there?
You did.
This report was actually prepared by PFM, and their recommendation will be requesting $1,000 in TIF money for next year. 25. Yeah. That's it.
Questions, comments?
Nope.
Okay, take it away.
Motion to approve resolution 2024-98 resolution directing the filing of TIF. I'm good with it. Certification. Okay.
I second it.
Fouraker.
Aye.
Edler.
Aye.
Schaffer.
Aye.
Campbell. Fordyce.
Okay.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Number 17, resolution 2024-99, resolution approving pay estimate number 16 for the water treatment plant expansion project under contract between the city of Elkhart and WRH Incorporated.
I can read off everything that's included in this pay estimate, since Forrest is not here. So installation of acrylic floor covering, painting of the interior walls and caulking, electrical meter set and lighting completed in both the process, chemical, and electrical rooms. Wall-mounted gas and electric heaters installed, and gas and electric lines were completed. Installation of exhaust fans for both the process and chemical rooms. Installation of bulk chemical tanks and exterior venting of tanks. Installation of chemical pumps, day tanks, and scales. Carrier piping and chemical feed lines from chemical room to process room completed. Grading, fertilizing, mulching, and seeding of disturbed areas. And if anyone has questions that you'd like me to take back to him, I'm happy to.
You're not an expert on it. You don't.
She did tour it.
It's good looking. It's a good looking building inside. They did a nice job with it.
Yeah.
It's a heck of an upgrade, definitely. Questions, comments? You know what to do.
I motion to approve resolution 2024-99, a resolution approving pay estimate number 16 for the water treatment plant expansion project.
Second.
Fouraker.
Aye.
Edler.
Aye.
Schaffer.
Aye.
Campbell.
Aye.
Fordyce.
Aye.
On to number 18, resolution 2024-100, a resolution setting a public hearing date for the text changes to the City of Elkhart zoning code.
So,
You caught a boo-boo.
yeah, basically this is just an administrative step we're gonna have to take to correct some changes in the codification draft. So we're setting the public hearing date for December 16th meeting. And then at that meeting, we will hold a hearing to adopt the new ordinance, which that new ordinance is just correcting the chapters.
Any questions on this, council? Do you?
No.
No. It happens. Shouldn't, but it happens, so.
That's why it's called a draft.
Yes, fair.
I motion to approve resolution 2024-100, a resolution setting a public hearing date for December 16th for text changes to the city of Elkhart zone code.
We need time in there too for the.
6 p.m. 6 p.m. December 16th at 6 p.m. That's it.
So,
Fouraker.
Aye.
Edler.
Aye.
Schaffer.
Aye.
Campbell. Fordyce.
Aye.
Number 19, resolution 2024-101, a resolution to establish fees for city services.
So, since I've been here, I just have noticed several things that we don't charge for that we have been services requested of us. Notary services for sure. I think we need to get a fee on the books for that. I made that $10. Our current dog and cat license is $5 per animal. So, I figured a appropriate increase would be $10 per animal. Again, you guys can discuss. There's several other fees on this resolution. Board of Adjustment hearing, we don't even charge anything for that. That really should have a fee, and it should be something not we deter people from, but it's not something we want a lot of adjustments to the city.
Is it normal to have a fee for those?
Oh yeah. I've looked at schedules before from other cities, and like $100 for Board of Adjustment here is pretty common. Dog or cat license, $10 is very common. If you guys want, I can do like analysis of different cities with all these fees. I just knew off the top of my head, these are some fees that we really should get in place.
A couple questions I had on it. It sounds like we're already kind of touching on it. Where do these proposed fees kind of fall in line for other cities within the area of similar size? And a sub to that, how often, as far as like just at the top of notary services, for example, how often are folks coming in and utilizing that service? Where if it's taking up an abundant amount of time, then yeah, but if it's once a month, that's.
I would say we get one every couple weeks. But again, it's taking time out of Marissa, Deb, or I's day to sit down for this non-related city serve. I mean, we get people that come in and bring, wills or trusts, and it's not related to city business. So,
And I understand. I'm just trying to get a gauge on,
sure.
Banks and stuff, they would have to go to the bank to have a notary done anyway, and they charge like even for that service. So it's not any different.
I just want to make sure that if anything, that the costs are in line and it's.
I would definitely say they're in line with what other cities are doing.
I believe the Secretary of State has a maximum, so it should be, if that's what other cities are doing, it's going to be underneath that maximum.
So, one thing that I had, another question I had. Anything to add, gentlemen?
My bank don't charge me anything. So
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
that's Ron Adams.
Thank you, sir.
The people who are doing these services are also paid by the taxpayers to do a job, and if it's taking away from the job they're doing, the city is looking to recoup that. That's why I think these fees are established in most cities versus perhaps a bank where they make fees off of other things.
Would this just be open to anybody who would walk in? Is this citizens only? Is this how is?
Just anyone that walks into City Hall that asks for notary services or an open records request, that applies to anyone.
Okay. The other question I had here was the picnic tables. And I may just be mistaken. I thought, did ECBC make those and then donate them to the city so they are ours, or are they ECBC's picnic tables? Or
I was under the impression they are ARPA.
I think we need to before that we need to double check on that because I don't remember which. Maybe I can reach out to Andrew Corey as well and double check on that. But I know they've got something to do with the picnic tables. I know they're redoing them. before the city festival.
Yeah,
this year.
Ron and Rick were painting them, so I thought they were our property, but.
Don't they have the ECBC logo on them?
I know some.
Didn't they used to?
I know some do, or you used to, and then before, the last meeting before the city festival, I know a couple of the guys, they had brought some over there and had repainted them, or going to repaint them and strip them down, repaint them and all that, so. I want to make sure that we're not charging for something it's donated property or it's owned by, but we're allowed to use that type of thing.
It just is different than like Campbell's at the park or the shelter at Prairie Pointe Park.
Yeah. Yeah, these are like ones that Ron hauls off to a special event or something.
Kind of like if you're renting street closing signs.
Yep.
Okay. So I think kind of listening from everyone's conversation here, maybe we look into similar cities, look at analysis on it, not saying that we don't trust you, just for transparency, for somebody says, why is it this? This is what other towns our size are doing.
Okay.
That's just my opinion on it. I don't disagree with any of this, but I think that if we have information backing it up.
Okay.
What do you guys think on
Do
that?
we have any idea on approximate compliance with the dog and cat licensing?
That's an excellent question.
Yeah.
Because if we're not compliant at $5, I feel like we'll be
Yeah, we're not.
super compliant at 10.
Yeah, that's, we've got to do a better job at that this next year, whether it's sending out direct letters, having some type of, actual.
Record keeping, like,
Yes.
you had one last year, did something happen or?
I mean, I personally don't think that raising it will, I think the people that are registering them will still register. I don't think the rates will really have that effect on it, but. That's my opinion.
The one at the bottom, the requesting a special council meeting, keep in mind, there's already set amounts for council meetings. So even $100 wouldn't actually cover the cost to the city of holding a special council meeting. And in the past, those special meetings have been called by developers and things of those natures to push things through or to get plats approved or things of those natures. So I would take a look at $100 being not sufficient, because if it's going to cost taxpayer money to have a council meeting and it's a non-taxpayer issue or it's getting that type of stuff, maybe we go past on.
That's up for
That's pretty
discussion, too,
common.
because there are some cities that charge $75
Yeah,
per meeting.
because we're paying staff to be here as well.
Just mayor and council is $310.
Correct.
Yeah.
Then we
right
have to
now.
publish minutes too.
Correct.
We
Minutes
have no-
publishing costs, having staff members costs, like, yeah.
Yeah, on the whole, I'm not opposed to implementing some of these. I just want to make sure that we're on track. I'd be more apt for the dog and cat one to leave that at 5. Not because I have 3 dogs and a cat, but because to Angie's point, if there seem to be the same dogs that constantly get loose, and I don't want to say I'd be willing to wager, but I'd be curious to know if those same ones that are constantly on loose are registered or not. And I'd be more apt to keep it lower to make sure that we kind of have that, hey, because I want to make sure that the dogs get back to where they need to go, and if they get caught by ARL or whoever, that we can properly identify them and get them back to the rightful owners. So, but
I'll prepare a spreadsheet that has 3 other towns nearby us and just lay out what they charge to show you.
It would also be helpful, I think, if people know, as we move forward with these sort of things, if people understand what exactly the benefit to them is of licensing their dog or cat to that area. Because, like, I paid to license my 2 cats that never go outside. Like,
same.
I don't know what
One cat.
my benefit is to that, but I did it. So I think, in order to try to gain compliance and help people understand, there's going to have to be some education on why we're asking that of them and what that looks like.
Maybe we can tie that in with our educational with codes and all that stuff as well. So
Yeah.
I know Marissa's done a great job with putting a lot of content out, and there's going to be even more coming. So
What if you did almost like a newsletter at the beginning of the year or something?
That
And
is-
all the information, so we're hitting it once.
I know a newsletter is on the stovetop burner. So that's all I will say for now.
I
So.
must have missed that part.
No, you're fine. No. AJ, good.
I was gonna ask what the benefit was of registering your animal, but it was in a roundabout way, it was kind of answered.
a good question.
For that, just to give you a heads up. Ron Adams here, by the way. I realize that, the only older one here than me or senior is Mr. Kappos. But I can remember 2 occasions when, we had a dog bit a kid. And that's back when they went door to door for paperwork. But the city also got involved in it because they did not push to have dogs and cats involved with it. So the city had to pay for the kid to get rabies shots plus the owner. And the city had to go back and get the owner to get them. As far as your cat deal in there, door to door salesman, the Mid-America guy comes to the door. The gas guy comes to the door. Your cat don't like what he's got on him and claws him and scratches him. Your cat goes into impound. They check the cat out. Somebody has to pay for that. And 9 times out of 10, it's property owner or the city, if they don't push it. But explain to an 8-year-old kid why he's got to have shots. That was back when you had to have several shots for rabies in there. That's one reason they do it. And if they don't keep it in there and keep it up, if you see a neighbor or whatever don't have one into there, all you got to do is advise them a little bit.
Can the city be fined if like a dog bit somebody? I mean, it was a serious bite and it came back, that maybe the sheriff's looking if they were registered. Can we be fined for something like that?
Be sued.
You can be sued for.
Yep.
Anything out of bed in the morning, but yeah.
Yep.
Definitely.
That's what happened before.
And exactly, we want to, number one, dogs get out. That seems to be quite often. Make sure that they get back 2, 3, and 4. To your point, as far as make sure they're up on their vaccinations and all that good stuff. All part of being a responsible pet owner. So.
Well, some of you younger kids, you may, but they don't around, but they'll call you daddy. But if one of them had to get scratched or bit or something into there, think how you feel. Not only is that going to come out of your pocket, you're going to go back on somebody. Not only property owner, but you can go back on the city.
Good.
I can assure you that's not an issue, Mr. Adams. But thank you for your concern.
First one comes along anytime. Second one takes 9 months.
That's great information to know. Thank you, Roger. I appreciate you.
Okay, so it sounds like we're gonna get some more info.
Yeah.
On this, not.
Yes, on this.
It might take me a little while. If I'm doing this, I might as well do all the fees.
Yeah.
I think if they're though, we just do it one time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Yeah.
I would ask that it just be prioritized amongst the list of all the.
That's what,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's something Marissa could help with if it's reaching out to other cities as well.
Are you gentlemen willing to share who you bank with that does not charge these fees? If you're not comfortable, that's fine. But
Wells Fargo Community State Bank, Meridian.
We're not talking about charges, but.
I know.
And they only don't, well, for mine, they don't charge because I'm a member.
Okay.
If I didn't bank there, they do have a fee. Since I bank through them, I get free services such as memory services.
Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Sometime within the next 6 months, then 3 months, 6 months, okay, when
Yeah.
it fits into the workflow. I don't see it. These are years. I don't see it being an urgent priority right now for a lot of this stuff, but when it fits into the workflow, please.
Yeah, not a bad idea. Just a little more around it. So then we will.
Thank you.
Table.
Yes. Yeah, don't need a motion or anything. We just table that. Or do we? We do. We need a motion.
motion second.
Motion. Yeah, that's right. So
No, you don't. I think they need a motion.
Okay.
Because it's never been introduced by a motion, you don't need a motion to table.
It's like it never existed.
Yeah.
Moving on.
If you would prefer, I have no issue with it.
It's okay. Let's just move to the next one.
Okay. Here we go. Resolution 20, am I on the right? No.
Number 20.
Thank you. 2024-102, a resolution to establish utility service prorating policy.
So this is just something to provide some structure with our utility billing. We're noticing that when we're final billing an account, it was only prorating the water and the sewer charges. It was not prorating the infrastructure fee. the stormwater fee, any of that. So we thought it would make most sense to prorate everything based on the amount of days in the cycling period, rather than charging someone the full $10 and then turning around and charging them another $10 for any residents. Do you have questions on it?
Trying to think how to word it. Some cities, like, if you are moving from your property and you have like no water for the month, do you still charge like the fees? Like the water, I know we're talking about prorating it now, but do you charge like the whole month even though they didn't use any?
Minimum?
Yeah, the minimum. That's what I'm looking for.
I think we do, yes. Yeah, because there's like a threshold of 0 to, I think, 2,000 is the minimum threshold.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Alrighty. Any other questions, comments? Take it away.
A motion to approve resolution 2024-102, a resolution to establish utility service prorating policy.
Second.
Fouraker. Aye. Edler.
Aye.
Campbell.
Aye.
Schaffer.
Aye.
I don't. Fordyce. Yeah, that was an accident. That was completely just. Me too. Alrighty, now on to 21, resolution 2024-103, resolution approving the transfer of utility connection fees for residential moves within city limits.
This is another structuring. This is a resolution basically saying that if somebody is moving from a house in town to another house in town, they don't have to pay second connection fee. It means that they can carry that over from their old residence. And it also says in there, say they moved in 1990 and their fee was $25. It says they have to make up that difference. So that's a big important, that's an important part of this resolution too.
Questions, comments?
Motion. I motion to approve resolution 2024-103, a resolution approving the transfer of utility connection fees for residential moves within the city limits.
Second.
Fouraker. Aye. Edler.
Aye.
Schaffer.
Aye.
Campbell.
Aye.
Fordyce. On to 22. Special events policy, ordinance number 2024-12, an ordinance amending the code of ordinances of the city of Elkhart, Iowa by adding chapter 119, special events. This will be the first reading. First, council, did you guys have any questions, comments, discussion items? We've all read through it. I assume we've all read through it.
Yeah. There were a few changes made from last meeting: portable toilets, parking plan, police coverage at city request,
Okay.
and is there one more thing? I think that the picnic tables was one thing.
This is Robert Loggins. I do have several questions or just clarifications I'd like to get.
Okay.
One of the things I read in here was 119.06, under the permit review process. What that says in there under A, it says that a team of city staff is going to approve everything. That's administration, fire, public works. In your policy or in your form, everything says city council. So is it going to be a special staff that's put together to approve this, or is it city council?
So staff would come together first to review the application, but city council would have the full approval process. They'd have that authority to approve or deny special events.
And so how often are you going to meet and review that? Because you say, in here, you say it has to be a minimum of 30 days in advance, but council only meets once a month. So if they only meet once a month, and let's say I put it in for an event on the first, the council meets on the third week, third Monday, and my event is going to be, the first of the next month, that only gives you basically a week for the special staff to approve things.
Mhm. I mean,
How's that gonna work?
it would be me, Deb, and then the fire chief, and that would be reviewing it. So I don't think it would be too tight of a time frame for us to review it. We're not actually approving it until it goes to council.
Because that review is prior to it coming to
Yes.
council, right?
Yes.
So they would have 2-3 weeks to look at it before council got it. In that scenario. So if you submitted it on the first of the month, they would be able to review it prior to the council meeting on the third.
Where does it say that?
That's just how the process works. Is they review it first and then the council approves it.
You're talking about two different things. You're talking about the review of the application and then the actual permission for the event. So what the policy is saying, what his question is it says a minimum of 30 days. You just gave an example, Katie, that would be less than 30 days. Maybe the wording needs to be up to 30 days could be requested, because Rob, the real answer is if you submitted it on the 1st and the meeting is on the 16th, 18th, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they don't have time to get to it in that 18 days, she's saying, well, that gives them 30 days to get to it so that they have proper time to get to it.
Well, that's
whatever
what I'm
reason.
confused,
So
because we're talking a 30-day window here, but we're talking about two different groups that are reviewing.
yeah. So perhaps it can be worded differently where, let me see what you've got there.
It doesn't state, in other words, that you have to have it in X amount of days before your event.
Well, but she's also, it says, yeah, it does. It says application must be submitted at least 30 days prior to the event, not prior to a meeting. So if it's prior to the event, so if you're asking for an event in December and you come in October, that's 30 days before the event, whether you submit the application a week before the council meeting or not, is really what that means. But we can clarify if we want, or change the wording a little bit if we need to make it more clear that the approval process, as long as it's given due time before a council meeting and time for you guys to review it, we would appreciate that.
I'm not.
I see your
arguing
point.
that it needs to be done or whatever. I just want to make sure
Yeah.
that we all understand, know what's going on.
You're wanting to make sure you've got
I
ample
don't
time.
say, hey, I want to do an event in a couple of months.
Yep.
And I submit everything, and then something happens, this and that, people on vacation, whatever the case may be, and all of a sudden comes back, well, we don't really have time to submit this. Or the other part of that, I need to get an alcohol license or whatever. Well, that doesn't happen 5 months in advance. That happens 30 days in advance.
What it does is it protects the city in the inverse of that, where you come to us 3 days before the event and there just happens to be a council meeting on that Monday night. You want to do something on a Wednesday and the city staff hasn't had time to review it.
Yeah, I understand.
That's our way of protecting, giving us due time to look it over.
Sure,
So,
and that makes sense. And I understand that.
And I see what you're saying on the flip side is, yeah.
as long as it's 30 days before the event, that's proper planning. But as far as the actual approval of it, the approvals will be done at the council meeting, which it says on there as well. So
Okay.
we can think of a better way to reword it. This is the first reading. I mean,
You might want to set that up to read that they have to submit it 30 days prior to the council meeting immediately preceding the event.
do you want to do that?
Then you've got 30 days, council meeting, and then the event.
Better sense, make sure that we've got proper time. Just using Rob as an example, Rob's got proper time to have all his paperwork submitted. Yes, that's what's addressing.
Yeah.
So the next clarification I'd like to have is in the special events, under definitions, it says the city is the city of Elkhart. So if we go on over to under, let's see. So if we're looking at 119.05, the application requirements, under the last point there, D, it says before the city decides to approve the special event permit. What you just told me is it's not the city, it is the city staff that is comprised of.
They review it.
Yeah.
And that's looking at things from like the fire chief, public works, is it gonna affect anything?
Okay, so
Within
they,
those
so the review, so that, when that says before the city decides, that's, what that's saying is city council
Because we are the only ones that will approve or disapprove
before they,
special event.
before city council. Okay, I feel like that could be worded a little differently. It's before the city decides to approve the special event permit. Well, the city,
So before city council decides to approve.
We are representatives of the city though.
Right,
so-
that's, it's kind of the, yeah.
I can add council in there.
okay, well, so then it also goes on to say that the city may require the applicant to provide notice, but on your form, it says that that's a necessity. So why is this, why does it say may require that? To me, that says that it's optional, that you may or may not require that for the event or whatever the case may be. So I guess that's why I'm asking for some clarification here. Is it an option or is it a necessity? Because there's a disconnect between your form that you fill out and what this says.
I would say would be a requirement, but as far as getting the wording properly, and thank you for bringing that to our attention, I would say it would be a requirement to alert the surrounding residents and whatnot. So that'd be something we need to get changed as well.
So that raises my next question then. Is it a notification of the event or is it an approval?
That's what we've been discussing and need to continue to discuss, thus the public hearings and 3 readings and all that, because we want to get people's input on what we think is fair, because there are cities that require every literal single person. There are cities that require 60%. There are different cities do different things. Elkhart in the past, obviously, is just kind of, what is that, notice required, where ECBC will knock on the doors of the folk on Main Street when they're going to close it down for the festival and things of that nature. So we've got to decide to do what's best for the residents. And
when's that supposed to take place? Prior to the event?
it would have to be noted in the application.
So prior to the application.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to go through the process of
So-
submitting the application, getting your liquor licenses, paying your fees, and
Right.
then everybody around it says no chance.
So if I want to hold an event, I fill this form out, part of what I need to get is, I need to go around and notify everybody. But you're saying that's undecided of whether it's a notification or approval?
Requirement, yeah.
On the form, it says notification.
Yeah.
So it says, in good faith, I tried to contact and let these people know. This is the method I contacted them by.
Ultimately, we're wanting them to be able to have the opportunity to come and speak as well.
Sure, I understand that. I mean, that makes sense. However, again, there's some disconnect here because I go through the trouble to file this form, I pay for it up front, and then it goes to council, and then council decides, well, we want more information, we want approvals, not just notification, and I don't have the time now. Then I can't have my event, and I'm out the $25 fee, and then that's another question, is that $25 fee, that's for the permit, is that the only thing that's required upon this? Or if I want to rent cones and everything, do I have to pay that?
Let's finish the first part of the question first, because those are 2 different things. We just, where this comes from,